The Aircrew Europe Star is a military campaign medal, instituted by the United Kingdom in May 1945 for award to subjects of the British Commonwealth for service in the Second World War, specifically Commonwealth aircrew who participated in operational flights over Europe from bases in the United Kingdom. Two clasps were instituted to be worn on the medal ribbon: the Atlantic Clasp and the France and Germany Clasp. The Second World War stars, altogether 8 campaign stars and 9 clasps, were initially instituted for campaign service during the Second World War. On 8 July 1943, the 1939–1945 Star and the Africa Star were the first 2 of these stars to be instituted. One more campaign star, the Arctic Star, and one more clasp, the Bomber Command Clasp, were belatedly added on 26 February 2013, more than 67 years after the end of the war. Only one of these campaign stars, the 1939–1945 Star, covered the full duration of the Second World War from its outbreak on 3 September 1939 to the victory over Japan on 2 September 1945. No one could be awarded more than 5 campaign stars, and no one could be awarded more than 1 clasp to any one campaign star. 5 of the 9 clasps were the equivalents of the namesake campaign stars and were awarded for the same respective campaigns as those stars, to be worn on the ribbon of that campaign star of the applicable group which had been earned first. The maximum of 6 possible campaign stars of the following: the 1939–1945 Star with, if awarded, either the Battle of Britain Clasp or the Bomber Command Clasp. Only one of the Atlantic Star, Aircrew Europe Star, or France and Germany Star, and, if awarded, the first to be earned respectively of the Aircrew Europe Clasp, France and Germany Clasp, or Atlantic Clasp, to be worn on the ribbon of that one of these 3 campaign stars to have been first earned and awarded: the Arctic Star, the Africa Star with, if awarded, the first to be earned of the North Africa 1942–43 Clasp, 8th Army Clasp or 1st Army Clasp, either the Pacific Star or Burma Star, or, if awarded, either the Burma Clasp or Pacific Clasp respectively, to be worn on the ribbon of that one of these 2 campaign stars to have been first earned and awarded: the Italy Star. Since only the first of the Atlantic Star, Aircrew Europe Star, or France and Germany Star to be earned could be awarded to any one individual, the possible star and clasp combinations for these 3 campaign stars are: the Atlantic Star with either the Aircrew Europe Clasp or the France and Germany Clasp, the Aircrew Europe Star with either the France and Germany Clasp or the Atlantic Clasp, the France and Germany Star with the Atlantic Clasp. As a result of the different date ranges involved, the earlier period Aircrew Europe Clasp could not be added to the later period France and Germany Star. Institution: the strategic bombing campaign against German industrial cities, military installations and a wide variety of other targets continued throughout World War II and made a decisive contribution to Allied victory. Although the air forces suffered significant losses of both men and aircraft, the campaign severely curtailed German industrial production. The Aircrew Europe Star was instituted in May 1945 to commemorate flying operations from the United Kingdom over Europe and was intended primarily for award to aircrew. 2 clasps were instituted to be worn on the Aircrew Europe Star's medal ribbon: the Atlantic Clasp and the France and Germany Clasp. British uniform regulations stipulated that no one person could be awarded more than 1 clasp to any one campaign star, and neither either the Atlantic Star or the France and Germany Star could be awarded to a recipient of the Aircrew Europe Star. Subsequent entitlement to either of these two stars was denoted by the award of either the Atlantic Clasp or the France and Germany Clasp to the Aircrew Europe Star. Regulations further stipulated that only the first clasp earned could be worn with the medal. Award criteria. Broad criteria. The Aircrew Europe Star was awarded for operational flying from bases in the United Kingdom over Europe from the outbreak of the Second World War, on the 3rd of September 1939 to the 5th of June 1944, the day before the D-Day Normandy invasion, both dates inclusive. For aircrew of the Air Forces, 2 months of operational flying was required in order to qualify for the award of the Aircrew Europe Star. Army personnel qualified for this star after they had served on aircrew duties for 4 months, provided 2 months of this minimum 4-month period had been operational flying over Europe with at least one operational sortie. The 1939 to 1945 star must already have been earned before commencing qualifying service for the Aircrew Europe Star. From D-Day on the 6th of June 1944, operational flying over Europe qualified aircrew for the award of the France and Germany Star, or, for holders of either the Atlantic Star or Aircrew Europe Star, the award of the France and Germany Clasp. Special criteria. The award of a gallantry medal, a mention in dispatches for action during operational flying over Europe, qualified the recipient for the immediate award of the Aircrew Europe Star, regardless of service duration. Personnel whose required qualifying service period was terminated prematurely by their death, disability or wounding due to service, were awarded the star regardless of service duration. Order of wear. Campaign medals and stars are not listed by name in the order of wear prescribed by the British Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood, but are all grouped together as taking precedence after the Queen's Medal for Chiefs and before the Polar Medals, in order of the date of the campaign for which awarded. The order of wear of the 9 campaign stars was determined firstly by the respective campaign start dates, secondly by the campaign's duration, and thirdly by the dates of institution. The 1939 to 1945 star, from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 2nd of September 1945, the full duration of the Second World War. The Atlantic Star, from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Battle of the Atlantic and the war in Europe. The Arctic Star, from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Battle of the Atlantic and the war in Europe. The Aircrew Europe Star, from the 3rd of September 1939 to the 5th of June 1944, the period until D-Day-1. The Africa Star, for the 10th of June 1940 to the 12th of May 1943, the duration of the North African Campaign. The Pacific Star, for the 8th of December 1941 to the 2nd of September 1945, the duration of the Pacific War. The Burma Star, from the 11th of December 1941 to the 2nd of September 1945, the duration of the Burma Campaign. The Italy Star, from the 11th of June 1943 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Italian Campaign. The France and Germany Star, from the 6th of June 1944 to the 8th of May 1945, the duration of the Northwest Europe Campaign. Preceded by the Arctic Star, succeeded by the Africa Star. Description. The set of 9 campaign stars was designed by the Royal Mint engravers. The stars all have a ring suspended which passes through an eyelet formed above the uppermost point of the star. They are six-pointed stars, struck in yellow copper zinc alloy to fit into a 44 mm diameter circle, with a maximum width of 38 mm and 50 mm high from the bottom point of the star to the top of the eyelet. Obverse. The obverse has a central design of the royal cipher GRIV surmounted by a crown. A circlet, the top of which is covered by the crown, surrounds the cipher and is inscribed "The Aircrew Europe Star." Reverse. The reverse is plain and, as with the other Second World War campaign medals, a no engraving policy was applied by all but 3 British Commonwealth countries. The recipient's name was impressed on the reverse for Australians, Indians and South Africans. In the case of South Africans, the recipient's force number, initials and surname in block capitals. Clasps. Both clasps were struck in bronze and have a frame with an inside edge which resembles the perforated edge of a postage stamp. They are inscribed Atlantic and France and Germany, respectively, and were designed to be sewn onto the medal's ribbon. Regulations only allow one clasp, the first earned, to be worn with the star. When the ribbon is worn alone, a silver rosette is worn on the ribbon bar to denote the award of a clasp. Ribbon. The ribbon is 32 mm wide, with a 4 mm wide black band and a 3 mm wide yellow band, repeated in reverse order and separated by an 18 mm wide blue band. The colors and layout symbolize the continuous service of the Air Forces by night and day. The sky is represented by the blue center band and night flying by the black bands on the edges, while the yellow bands represent enemy searchlights. The ribbons for this medal and a defense medal, as well as those of the other Second World War campaign stars, with the exception of the Arctic Star, were devised by King George VI.